นี่คือซีรีส์รวมพลังร่วมออกแบบครับจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นเมื่อนักออกแบบต้องทำงานร่วมกับเด็กนักเรียนครับโครงการนี้เป็นโครงการที่อยากจะปรับปรุงพื้นที่โรงเรียนในประเทศอังกฤษครับซึ่งโรงเรียนที่เข้าร่วมโครงการจะต้องส่งเด็กนักเรียนในโรงเรียนของตัวเองมาบอกเล่าความต้องการและพัฒนาแบบร่วมกับนักออกแบบครับสิ่งที่น่าสนใจก็คือว่าเด็กนักเรียนเหล่านี้จะทำอย่างไรเพื่อบอกความต้องการของตัวเองจะต้องไปพูดคุยกับเพื่อนเพื่อให้รู้ว่าจริงๆแล้วเพื่อนต้องการอะไรแล้วสรุปมาเพื่อมาคุยกับนักออกแบบนักออกแบบก็ได้ทำงานร่วมกับเด็กนักเรียนครับขั้นตอนทำงานนั้นแบ่งออกเป็น5ขั้นตอนครับขั้นตอนแรกก็คือพูดถึงปัญหาและสรุปความต้องการครับขั้นตอนที่เรียกว่า the challenge จากนั้นเขาจะสรุปความต้องการทั้งหมดออกมาเป็น the brief แล้วก็เป็นการพูดคุยแสดงความคิดเห็นกับนักออกแบบที่เรียกว่า the conversation จากนั้นจะได้แนวคิดหลักหรือ the concept ออกมาแล้วสุดท้ายคือการติดตามผลคือ the follow up ครับแน่นอนครับการตั้งคำถามว่าจะเป็นอย่างไรถ้าเราให้ผู้ที่ใช้สอยพื้นที่จริงๆของโรงเรียนเป็นผู้บอกความต้องการของเขาไม่ใช่เป็นผู้บริหารโรงเรียนไม่ใช่คุณครูหรือไม่ใช่ผู้ใหญ่คนไหนก็ตามแต่ให้เด็กได้บอกเองว่าเขาชอบอะไรอยากได้แบบไหนและนักออกแบบครับก็ต้องมารู้ถึงความเข้าใจความต้องการของเด็กๆที่อยากจะได้เป็นการทำงานซึ่งกันและกันที่ถือว่าน่าสนใจและคงจะแปลกมากสำหรับนักออกแบบนะครับเมื่อลูกค้าหรือเจ้าของโครงการกลายเป็นเด็กนักเรียนความวุ่นวายความโกลาหลความสนุกสนานคงจะเกิดขึ้นอย่างมากมายครับนี่คือซีรีส์ที่น่าสนใจซีรีส์นี้ครับสำหรับตอนนี้ครับไม่ใช่การออกแบบพื้นที่หรือห้องเรียนห้องใดๆในโรงเรียนครับแต่เป็นการออกแบบป้ายบอกทิศทางภายในโรงเรียนเมื่อเด็กนักเรียนกลุ่มหนึ่งพบว่าเด็กนักเรียนใหม่ที่เข้ามามักจะเดินไปไม่ถูกห้องหลงอยู่เสมอเมื่ออยู่ภายในโรงเรียนก็เลยคิดว่าป้ายบอกทิศทางนั้นไม่ค่อยชัดเจนแล้วมีการประชุมกันของคณะกรรมการนักเรียนครับเพื่อบอกความต้องการและนำความต้องการนี้ไปบอกนักออกแบบและเมื่อพัฒนาแบบได้จนสุดท้ายแล้วก็นำเอาแบบนี้มาเสนอกับคุณครูครับและสุดท้ายโรงเรียนนี้ก็ได้ป้ายบอกทิศทางที่ชัดเจนและที่สำคัญคงไม่มีใครเดินหลงในโรงเรียนนี้อีกต่อไปครับเชิญชมครับ
What would happen if you put pupils in charge of improving their schools? The Sorrel Foundation's Joined Up Design for Schools is an initiative that does just that. It explores how good design can improve the quality of life in schools by listening to the voices of the people who use the schools most, the pupils. All over the UK, schools became involved with the project. Pupils became the clients and were put in the driving seat, deciding on what needed improving in their own schools and briefing the designers who were matched with them. This programme will follow the process of joined-up design for schools. The challenge, the brief, the conversation, the concept. In many cases, and in all 6 programmes in this series, there was a 5th stage, the follow-up. The job actually got done. In each participating school, client teams of students were challenged to identify a problem within their school that they would like solved. Summerhill School in Birmingham was moving to new premises, and the students were concerned about the dreary appearance of their new breeze block school.
Our project is to design loads of new signposts so that when people enter the school, they know exactly where they're going. And these are the designers that are going to help us.
Hello, Andy from GTF.
David from GTF, and we're here to solve the problems.
We found out there's just going to be blue and breeze blocks, and we thought, oh, it would just look like a jail kind of thing every day. Just get up and go to school. So
we were given basically the basic outline that the walls would be breeze blocks. We had a basic colour scheme, and we wanted something which would work around that, make the school more colourful, vibrant, uplifting place to work in.
The kids there not had a lot of consultation in the actual building, and I think, I don't know, maybe they had a bit of trepidation with it. I guess they're all sort of, everyone's going to be a new kid on the block sort of thing in this new building. So the signage does one function, it settles everyone into their place. But also I think they see it as a way to bring a bit of
character into the school. I think that was their main driving point.
The client team created a brief and presented it to GTF.
This is where we need signs outside the school telling visitors where they are. There also needs to be signs pointing to the direction of each department, a sign to signify what part of the building you are in, e.g. languages. Perhaps signs to signify what corridor you're in, e.g. Science Street or IT Highway. That's good.
The team had already conducted a survey to find out what the other students in the school wanted, and discovered that to most students, the concept of the school was one of a series of streets. So their initial idea was to use street signs.
If you got yourself into the wrong department, say humanities, how would you to know where to get to the other one? So like street signs which actually show the arrows pointing to the right sections that you can look at.
But they also wanted to be sure to leave a legacy to the school.
When we go into the school, we'll be in our last year, so it's important that we do something that can be modern and as beneficial to us as the new people come into the school.
They created a series of mood boards for Andy and David. Their brief was specific and insisted that the signage was multilingual, reflecting the school's specialist status as a language college. The client team wanted the signs to project the school's character. They wanted the signs colour-coded for different departments, and they wanted them in a range of sizes.
The colours are used on signs like you've all experienced for certain practical reasons. So you go into a hospital and say accident and emergencies in red, and that's done obviously as an information thing, so you don't even have to read the sign. You know, you're in a panic, you want to get to accident and emergency, you're just looking for the red sign. So you get colour use as a tool in graphics, but then also you can get colour just used for the joy of it.
The conversation between the designers and the client team is at the heart of joined-up design for schools. Andy and David took the client team on an inspirational visit to the Design Museum in London to look at some of their signage. After wandering round, Andy and David presented their first design ideas to the pupils. They discussed using street furniture.
I mean, there's great things like park benches and things like that, and it'd be good if you could start thinking about maybe there's some great things that you sit on the park, or you see like bins and things like that you could bring into your school.
The scale and robustness of something like the bus stops.
And with things like the bus stops, I mean, they make these cases that normally hold bus timetables, but there's no reason they can't hold a map, a plan. There's no reason why they can't.
And the impact of street signs.
I got in touch with people who make the road paint, and I said, is it possible to roll it out on a carpet inside? And you can even have like double yellow line areas straight onto the carpet. Maybe there's sort of no stopping zones.
I think that'd be good because in our corridors at the moment you should keep to the left or keep to the right, and I think
so have a
centre
lane there.
And if we have street signs and the fact that there's yellow lines, I think that'd be really good.
So that's something we might.
They explored different ways of using signage as a means of getting colour into the corridors.
You can ask us to do things with colours, you can ask us advice, I mean that's what we're there for.
And they introduced the idea of huge stencils on the walls.
You can actually have stencils made so that you use them, you then go and store them, and then if you have to repaint the corridor, you can get them out
I mean,
again.
there's no reason why over the toilet doors you don't have big massive full-size men and big massive full-size women, you know what it's like.
I think it's good that we've been so we can't have a say in the main colour scheme of the walls and the floor, so we're doing the next best thing and putting as much colour as we can onto the wall.
After talking with and listening to the client team, Andy and David developed a giant sign system using bold colours painted directly onto the walls. They had started with a different idea.
We initially started with, I guess, quite a lot of information on the ground floor, you know, where you find out, you know, the subject you're after, which floor it's on, which way you go. Things like stairwells where you come off a floor and gone somewhere, it's always going to be a bit of a point of indecision of where you go. So from that, we're just trying to move it out of that exact spot.
It's something that I found when I was looking at these things when you mentioned that about the stairwells, that just because I was so close to it, it was something I'd completely missed. You wouldn't want 40 people standing at the bottom of a set of stairs finding out exactly where they're going to go. And that's why the clients as well, and that's why they've been so good.
So a really easy to follow system was created. When in June 2003 Summerhill School moved to new premises, the breeze block walls proudly bore great big stenciled signage inspired by the client team.
My name's Connor and welcome to Summerhill. I've sort of learned my way I learned it in a couple of days. Like, you know where you are because it's got languages on the wall. Humanities is on the second floor, what's up there, and English is that way. We are coming into the music department, and as we know this because we have a gigantic music on the wall.
I found them really clear. I find them really clear and bold, and they're like colour coded. So like maths is orange, music is purple, and science is green. The first, say for instance, 2 days I was here, I was finding it really difficult to get around. But when I started taking notice of the signs, I was round in a jiggle.
The school got a new signage system, but what did everyone in the project take away with them?
The pupil-client team, as it were, what they got out of it was the feeling that they were being listened to, and we genuinely listened to what they wanted for their new school. And the results are there on the wall, you can see behind me.
Because we're like graphics group in a graphics, it's made us look more carefully at the way we design it. Like if you get, because you know that you like ideas and you like produce it and like develop it more. It's made it much easier. Like you look at different aspects of like what you're doing.
Yeah, things like colours and the sizes of things in consideration. Something where you think, well, there's not a lot we can do with this. If you really look into it, then there's a solution to most problems.